say a word, daddy's gonna buy you.
Hello, I want to play a game. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe to Just Tonto's Reviews. If you don't, I will come after you. Live or die, the choice is yours.
What is going on, you guys? It is Justin back here with another video, and as you can see, we have our good friend Billy back here with us, and that can only mean one thing. It's a Saw movie review. And today we are going to be reviewing Saw X. So I finally went to see it, and this movie is by far the best Saw in the franchise, honestly. I give it 10 out of 10, clean, great movie. Definitely going to be in my top 5 of 2023 when that video eventually comes out. But yeah, I guess we'll just get right into it. Spoilers, beware. I know there's been a lot of comments like asking me to put spoiler warnings, which I do. But yeah, this movie doesn't even waste any time. You jump right into it. You're basically John Kramer in this movie. So in the beginning of the movie, you are with John Kramer, and he's inside one of those like camera things that can look through your body, and it shows that he has like a massive tumor in the top of his head. So after that, he goes and he talks to his doctor, and he's like, "How many? Like, I got a year left." The doctor's like, "Yeah, try 3 months, buddy." So he starts talking to people. He's in this cancer support group, and he's at Starbucks, I think it is, and he's working on a trap, which I'll put right here. It's the trap from Saw 3, where the guy that killed Jeff's son is in it. I think he calls it the Twister. I'm not too sure. But he runs into a guy from his group, and I think it's about 3 months later. And the guy is cleared of his cancer, and he's asking him, he's like, "Well, how'd you do it?" And the guy's like, "Well, it's a place down in Mexico, this and that." So he gives John the information, and John reaches out to him and everything. Well, eventually John gets all set up with these people, and they're making it look like he's gonna get rid of his tumor. Well, this is the part that made me so mad, because usually I'm not on John's side, but in this movie you're really on John's side, because obviously you see that he's dealing with cancer and everything, and the stuff they do to him is insane. They make him believe that they took that tumor out of his head, and while they're doing surgery on him, they give him like a sleeping pill, and they basically took all of his money. They put him on sleeping pills and told him that he would have to be awake during the procedure of the cancer removal. So you see that he's looking at the TV, and you do see somebody working on a brain. Well, one of the girls sees him looking at the TV, and she turns it, and you see her pick up a remote, but you don't even really know what she's doing. And by the time they're done, he has this bandage on his head, like people have when they get their head cut open, and he thinks it's all good and done. So he goes to this store, and he wants to thank the team that worked on him. So he goes and he buys him a gift card and an expensive bottle of wine. And he goes back to where they did the procedure on him, but he sees that the place is ransacked and that everybody left. And then he sees there is this little DVD case that says like instructions on how to do surgery or something. And he puts it in, and he's watching it. And it was the exact same video that he seen while he was getting his surgery done. So these people didn't do the tumor removal on him at all. They were just playing a brain surgery video on loop. So of course, rightfully so, he gets pissed, and he calls and he says, "Detective," which you guys might know who I'm talking about. He says, "Detective, there's some people that I need taken care of." Well, you get the montage of the pig killer going through. Then eventually you find out it's Amanda. So then these people, they're all put in these traps, and the lady doctor, I hate her the most. But I forget their names. I know there was Gabriella, Isabella, Carlos, and I forget the doctor's name, but I'll put the doctor's name on there if I can find it. But the first trap is Isabella. And she has this like wire thing around her neck. It's not barbed wire, it's some kind of wire that can cut through your skin. So John tells her, he says, you got that around your neck, but you also have one right here. There's a belt in the bucket too. Have fun. So she takes the belt and she puts it around her leg, and she has to get a certain amount of bone marrow in this cup to like fill it up halfway before a minute's over or something like that. And she does what I think anybody would do in this situation. And she sits there, she's like, I'm not doing it. I'm not ripping my own leg off. Well, eventually she starts halfway, she gets her leg cut off, she starts sucking the bone marrow, and unfortunately the timer runs out. So even though she lost her leg, she didn't complete the game, so she dies. She's out. Isabella's out. Next up was Mateo, I think his name is, and he's in this like weird thing. He had to, I forget what he had to, oh, he had to cut a piece of the back of his skull out, and he wanted, John wanted brain tissue and the acid so it could dissolve. So he put it in there, and just like Isabella's, it's like slowly dissolving, so the timer runs out automatically. Then it's like this weird thing, it closes on his face and it just roasts him. It's like a toaster closed on his face. So then Isabella and Mateo are dead. So next we go on to Gabriella, and her punishment is she has a chain hooked from this leg to this arm, so she's like this the whole time. It's insane. And what she has to do is she has to break her ankle and she has to break her hand, and she has this radiation gun in her face that's making her look like Freddy Krueger the whole time. Well, eventually she's basically the only one that ends up getting out of this trap. So then we go on to the doctor. But before we get to the doctor, there's a man that comes and he's trying to get in, and he's a fake patient. So he makes it look like he had like throat cancer and he's coming back for his money. Well, it's revealed that that man has a gun and he points it at John and Amanda, and he's really the doctor's boyfriend. Well, you're thinking that the doctor and the boyfriend are like, they've beaten John Kramer. They hook him up, and then they go grab some poor innocent little boy named Carlos, and they hook him up to the game with John. And you're thinking, well, John's done. This is it. He's dying. It's not. So the trap that John and Carlos are in, it's like blood pouring on your face. It's very weird. But you're thinking like this lady's outsmarted John. But in reality, that Saw music starts to play, the dun 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 dun, that one. And this doctor has a bag of money she goes to grab, and that's hooked onto something, and that traps her and her boyfriend in a room that has acid that eats away at your skin, and it burns it. And when she pulled the bag, it stopped John and Carlos's trap, so they're safe. So he says to them, there's a little vent that opens up so they could stick their head through. And he's like, only one of you are going to survive. So, live or die, choice is yours. So, basically, the girlfriend and the boyfriend start fighting, and the girlfriend kills the boyfriend. So, she's just sitting there throughout the rest of the movie with her head sticking out, which I was so happy about, because I could not stand that lady doctor. She was so rude. And John, Amanda, and Carlos, they all walk off happy while that doctor sits in there to die. And then we go through the ending credit scenes, and this was my favorite part of the movie, because as many of you know, I've said that Hoffman is my favorite Saw killer. So I'm very excited for this. Well, I was very excited for it. It is a post-credit scene, and you see John hanging up this guy. Come to find out, it's the guy from the donut shop from Starbucks. And that guy had been lying to him the whole time, too. So, all of a sudden, you hear somebody say, out of all the people to cheat, you choose John Kramer? And lo and behold, Detective Hoffman walks out, and I lost my shit on this part. I'm so happy that he's back in the movies now, because he's been my favorite Jigsaw killer, just because he's so badass, and he doesn't really give two shits about what anybody thinks about him. So yeah, that was Saw X. Like I said, I give it a solid 10 out of 10. Probably, it's up there, not probably, it is up there with one of the best movies of the year. It's definitely up in my top 5 for sure. So yeah, I loved Saw X. I would love to know what you guys thought about it down in the comments below. Let me know what you guys thought about it down in the comments below. Did you like Saw X? Did you hate it? Was it in between for you? I love how it tied in with 2 and 3, because I watched 2 and 3 the day before we went to go see this. So it made a lot more sense to me about how it tied in with it. So yeah, like I said, again, let me know what you guys thought about Saw X down in the comments below. As always, you guys, stay groovy, stay safe, and keep your people safe, and remember, God is good all the time. It's been Justin and Billy, and we're out.